2016 Engen Volkswagen Cup action is proudly brought to you by Engen and Volkswagen Motorsport in association with Ferodo, Dunlop and Champion. It's pretty self-explanatory to see where we are today. Mother City, round 3 of the Extreme Festival, and we're down here to catch all the action from the national championship categories. Engen Volkswagen Cup are here, the Formula 1600s are here, and of course all the local support. But it is the Extreme Festival, and this is why we call it Extreme Festival. Headlining this event is the Engen Volkswagen Cup, and in the new pit facility, it's time to get the cars all sorted out. Remember, these are brand new machines, all running FSI engines. That means we're going to be seeing new lap records here at the Mother City, and I think there's going to be a lot of guys and girls looking to get to the front end of this battle and get those championship points in the bag. In qualifying, it's always a tight affair, but the most important thing to have here is a teammate, because as we've seen on many occasions, the slipstream effect is certainly used well, particularly in qualifying, to try and get that little edge over everybody else. Signature Motorsport working hard, Pepper Racing were working hard as well, the Nathan's Motorsport team doing a great job to try and get to the front end. Who was going to have what it takes to get that elusive time and set the fastest lap of the weekend so far? Incredibly, across the line, things were looking good, and it was Masters at the front, including Sean Lereserve, who looked like he was going to be the man to beat. But as the flag came out, it turned out it was a Master, but Keegan Masters, who was at the top, with a 125 dead, incredibly Matt Shorter right on his tail. Bradley Liebenberg just beating out the first of the Masters, Sean Lereserve, down in 4th place, with Yuri Swart, the Cape Town boy, in 5th. A great drive from Chris Shorter saw him stay in the top 6, just ahead of the second master, Trevor Bland, and Jean Gaber ever improving and getting up there in 8th place. Darren Oates, his teammate, was there in 9th, and in 10th place, Brad Benningfield, a much better outing for the Nashua man. Justin Oates behind him with Gary van Heerden, the 4th of the Masters, Sean Holtzhausen right on his tail, and Holtzhausen's teammate out of Universal Healthcare, Clinton Besaidnote, there as well. Kudu Vazuri, then John Craig Jr., another local man. Daniel Duany down in 17th, with Simon Need all the way from Mauritius in 18th, Johan Pretorius, the Doctor, joining us in 19th, and Ethan Van Heerden in 20th. Time for the lucky draw. Unfortunately, Masters dropping down to 5th place. What was going to happen with Shorter? He stayed 2nd, on the front row. Bad Brad, all the way from international duties, drops down to 6th place. His karting didn't quite help him out there. And Lereserve, lucky man, draws pole. Yuri Swart would stay in the mid-pack, and I'll be up for the hunt. And finally, in 4th place, Chris Shorter. Second draw also didn't go well for the man at the front. And Brad Liebenberg dropped down to 6th place. Yuri Swart, he improved dramatically, moved up to 3rd. Trevor Bland looked like he wanted to get to the front end and did just that. So both of the grids would have a master on pole. Keegan Masters looking to get a slightly better grid position, but unfortunately both of his poles turned into second rows. Matt Shorter also not improving, unfortunately, and a great effort from Lereserve, 2 front rows.
Yuri, home track advantage, but not as easy as you thought.
No, it's never easy in this series. It's extremely close, and yeah, home track, we've done no testing here actually, and yesterday we were off the pace and then something just clicked and it all changed from there.
Sean, you were quickest in practice yesterday, and qualifying didn't go quite the way you wanted.
No, not exactly as we wanted, but we were still in the draw. Had a good draw, drawing 1 and 2. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy. We're in the draw, we're up there, so it'll be a very, very, very good race.
We're looking forward to that very, very good race. Right after the break, join us for Engen Volkswagen Cup here in Cape Town. Welcome back to the Engen Volkswagen Cup coverage of the first trip down to Cape Town. And it looks like a few teams really going all out to impress. We're going to see what happens on the black stuff. But before we get out there, we managed to catch up with Brad Berg and Laren had a chat to him about 20 years of Engen Volkswagen Cup.
This year we are celebrating 20 years of Engen and Volkswagen Cup. With me is Group Sponsorship Manager Brad Berg. Brad, it's been a fantastic road.
Yeah, 20 years. There's not too many brands that can put that hat on in motorsport, that they've been involved with a formula and a great automotive brand in this country for 20 years. It's all started obviously in 1996, 2 years before I joined the good brand of Engen. And it's just been an absolutely amazing formula for motorsport in South Africa, for young talent that's come through the ranks. You know, these young drivers, they all have a start in karting and they move up into saloon car racing, more on the club scene and local scene, and then they get into the national championship. And the Volkswagen Cup has proved over the years that it's the premier saloon car championship in the country. And for our brand, it's a very, very important formula to have in motorsport, to get the youngsters to move into saloon car racing and move on to bigger and better things.
It's incredible to think that 20 years have gone so quickly. We've seen plenty of champions crowned in those 20 years, and they've all gone on to bigger and better things. Let's see what these youngsters and masters can now do for race one. Let's go racing. Pressure's on at the front, and Reserve is certainly not going to let that affect him one bit. He's going to have a massive field behind him, but as the lights go out and we drop down towards KFM corner for the very first time, it is Reserve that gets the drop on everybody. Look at the Signature Motorsport trying to spread out in amongst themselves and sort things out as they head down into turn one for the first time. Shorter up into second place. Good start there from Jean Gerber. Nice start round the outside for Gary van Heerden, right on the tailpiece there of Bedingfield. In the back end, it's the two youngsters fighting hard. Ethan van Heerden, the birthday boy, of course, fighting with Daniel Dermody. And the Pepper Racing Man and SMD Group having a super run in their first outing. John Craig putting massive pressure onto the back end of Missouri, and pressure all by himself on the doctor. Johan Pretorius gets it all wrong, unfortunately, heading into turn two. That's Engen corner here, of course. And he just got that completely all out of shape. Speaking of out of shape, whoa! Gary van Heerden, little bit of wheels on the dirt. That could have been very costly. It has cost him one position. He's tucked in behind Kuda Missouri, and we're on board with Missouri right now as they head through one of the fastest corners in the country. Malmesbury, a double right-hander. It's basically everything she's got in fourth gear, and in fifth gear, there you can see van Heerden just sliding past the youngster. Let's see if he's good enough on the brakes to keep Missouri out. Just in the background, keep an eye on that little one. They come under braking. There we go. Van Heerden's on the inside. Missouri has to tuck in behind. Just ahead is Bedingfield. The 38 special is there as well. That's Clinton Besaidnout, one of our youngest drivers in this category. Looking back from Chris Shorter, it's just the entire Signature Motorsport team on his tail, hunting him down, looking for opportunities to get through from the word go. He's in second place at the moment, and he's trying to close down on the Alpine Motors and Pepper Racing car of Sean Reserve. Hard on the brakes up the inside. You can, really close there. Incredible stuff. Jean Gerber, unfortunately, has lost out by the looks of things to his teammate. We're on board here with Keegan Masters. Look how hard this man works in the cockpit. There you can see him just ever so slightly on the brakes, tapping it down, and one gear down into Engen corner. Tucks in and looking good. Trevor Bland now also starting to put a little bit of pressure into that second little group of cars. The Masters battle is being led out by the man who leads out overall, but look how close it is for second place there. Blandy and Gerber, very close and evenly matched. Second place, Shorter. He's feeling the pressure from behind. There's no doubt about it. Brad Liebenberg once passed. Remember, Bradley Liebenberg has just come from international kart duties with Daniel Dermody and had an incredible run and finished second on the podium. So he wants to use that. Trevor Bland also looking to do what he did in Swartkops and take another victory. He has got pole position for the second race, remember, so he doesn't want to do anything wrong here. It might just be a bit of consolidation so they can then try and do things from the front like he did at Swartkops at round one. Liebenberg on the inside. Oh, he's very close there. They're going to come out wing mirror to wing mirror. Here comes Brad around the outside of Chris Shorter. Two cars side by side onto the main straight. Just behind them, you can see they're just lining up, looking for a chance. There isn't any, though, because Shorter is going to have to be very good on the brakes to outgun the youngster. Around his outside is his teammate. Oh, Le Reserve's even locking up. Liebenberg's through. He drove around the outside. Yuri Swart also coming through lastly. Slowly but surely getting into the mix there. And the Cape Town man knows his way around this circuit. He had some time in a single-seater last year, so he certainly will know the special lines to get up ahead and make a maneuver to a little bit further up at the front end. Matt Shorter now. Chris Shorter on his tail. The two brothers fighting hard. They're keeping out the two Ferrodo and Champion cars for now, but I can tell you, it's not going to be easy. Down into Rose Foundation. Oh, look at that. Look how hard Brad Liebenberg is going into that turn. He is pushing it to the ultimate limit. There's hardly anything in it between second place here. Second place is where the battle is. And all of a sudden, we've got another man thrown into the mix. Not only Yuri Swart, but Keegan Masters is also coming onto the back end. He's bringing along Trevor Bland and Jean Gerber. And right on their tail, Justin Oates. But this man is large and in charge at the front, Sean Reserve. Alpine Motors and Pepper Racing, and he's doing a great job to stay ahead, although the pressure is being applied. Brad Liebenberg, is he on fire here today? He once passed, and he is not going to let anybody beat him out. But further back, looks like there might be a little bit of battle scars. Oh, he has even further back, as Clinton Mercedes starts to look on the inside, gives Big Gary Van Eerden a tap through Cape Town corner. Whoa, the gloves are off. And I mean it, they might be OMP ones, but I think they are off big time here. Kuda Missouri, look at how hard he's working in the Volkswagen and Nathan's Motorsport machine. Doing a great job, and he's right in the thick of it there. Missouri fighting out with Poseidon. He's got Simon Need just behind him. Look at this as they come onto the braking. This is incredible stuff. Need getting outgunned. Oh no, that's Justin Oates, I beg your pardon. And John Craig, I thought it was Simon Need. Very similar cars, both of them all white. So John Craig, the Cape Town man. Speaking of man in Cape Town, whoa, we're changed up for second place. Yes, indeed, Masters has got through. Chris Shorter has lost out. The turn one and Pie and car has lost out to Keegan Masters in the Champion Polo. No one is going to catch the Reserve. Look at that. Almost 2.5 seconds up the road. And the Pepper Racing and Alpine Motors Volkswagen Polo has disappeared. Incredible stuff here in the background. Bedingfield has brought Daniel Duminy along for the ride. The SMD Group and Nashua cars fighting behind Missouri. Problems for Bad Brad. Oh no! Can you believe that? I think he might have over-revved the car slightly on a downshift, and that could possibly have put it into limp mode. There is a restrictor on those cars to stop the guys from doing that, so he might have done exactly that. Daniel Duminy's not done yet. He forces Bedingfield wide onto the dirty stuff. And across the line, Sean Reserve takes the win. Pepper Racing taking the win there ahead of Keegan Masters in the Champion Polo. Chris Shorter in the Pioneer and Turn 1 car comes through for third, just ahead of Yuri Swart from Cape Town. Jean Gerber is the second of the Masters. A great drive from him to beat out Trevor Bland for 5th and 6th place. Super effort there from the Masters. Justin Oates with one of his best ever. And Kuda Missouri, incredibly, up in 8th place.
Clinton, I think you found out today what Polo Cup is all about.
Yeah, I saw first few corners, now I saw what Polo Cup is about. I think my door is the worst, and I thought I broke my window, so now I see what it's about.
Now, could that have anything to do with the man next to you, Gary?
Yeah, look, we were very close all the time. I think so half our panels were mixed together. I mean, I think my front door was on his car and his mirror was on my car for half the race. But you know, it was very close racing. It was really exciting, really nice to race for them. I think if we weren't been bumped up from behind as many times as we were, I think we could have actually probably got away with the front pack. But you know what? We got caught up with each other. We had a great race. Unfortunately, it didn't end that well for me. But I mean, it's, you know, at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, eh?
Kuda, your best finish in Polo Cup to date, 8th overall, and a fantastic dice.
Yeah, it was really an awesome day, say. It was also really difficult starting from 15th, but overall I enjoyed the race, eh? The team worked really hard for this, eh?
Sean, you said you wanted the win, you got it.
Yeah, I did. I got a great start, managed to pull a little bit of a gap, put my head down. The Ferrodo boys were coming, and then I managed to pull a gap. I don't know what happened behind me, but yeah, flag to flag victory. I'm very, very chuffed.
Great action for the first time down in Cape Town. Look forward to race 2 just after the break. Welcome back to the Mother City and coverage of the second round of the Engen Volkswagen Cup. At Killarney, as always, they put on a good show. And the Extreme Festival, of course, all around the country, you get action on track, you get action off the track, and it's all kinds of action when you're getting ready for race number 2. The WPMC and the entire Killarney team put on a great show. And we're looking forward to coming back down here a little bit later on in the year. But we've still got one race to sort out here today, and they're about to get onto the black stuff. Liebenberg's got his car sorted out. He managed to get it to the fan walk. And what an incredible effort there from the teams to get their cars out there and meet the fans. They loved it. They love being in the mix. They love seeing the drivers. They love getting the autographs. And they're going to love the action now from race 2. Trevor Bland drops off the line and gets down towards Holes Hook or KFM corner. And has a problem right on the start. Can you believe that? He got off the line so well and then just disappeared. Looks like he might have a gear issue of some nature, but fortunately he's got going again. He's tucked into about 3rd place there as they come through KFM for the first time. Bedingfield with a good start, side by side there with John Craig. Daniel Dermody fighting with Simon Eden. Massive problem on the front row. Can you believe this? Sean Holtzhausen. Massive damage to the front end. He's gone into the back of Brad Liebenberg, who was stricken on the line. The side shaft on his car blowing as he took off. Had nowhere to go, and unfortunately that's brought out the red flag. So a massive shunt between the two drivers. Here we can see it. Chris Shorter just moving to the sideline. As he comes around, just misses out. Look in the background. You can just see chaos erupting as Holtzhausen went straight into the back of the stricken Liebenberg. Trevor Bland off the line this time, much better from him. He hasn't seen the blue car alongside him. There he goes. So it looks like, he's battling. You see he's gone from 1st into 3rd. So he doesn't have a second gear there. That's the issue he's having. Hopefully he can get that sorted out, can drive around it. If he can drive around it, it'll be an incredible drive, considering the fact the last time he drove from pole position, he took the win at Zwartkops. So let's see if the luck goes his way once again here in Cape Town. Hard on the brakes, down into Engen corner. They file out and try to sort things out amongst themselves. Van Heerden with a much better start there. Right up there with Chris Shorter. Back on board with Vazuri. Looking for opportunities to get through as quickly as possible. Remember, he finished up in 8th place, incredibly, in the first race. So he'd love another top 10 finish here if he can get to it. They come through Rose Foundation sweep and absolutely sideways with Matt Shorter. Shorter is absolutely hauling and certainly wants to make up for lost ground. Braking issues at the top of the hill at Zwartkops caused him some problems in the first round. There's no problems like that today because he is absolutely hauling around here right now. On the inside, side by side, Van Heerden and Shorter. That was so close. Don't normally go through Malmesbury side by side, but incredibly these two drivers gave enough room and enough respect to get through there and not cause any problems for each other. Now they come down onto the brakes. Watch out for the two Oates boys starting to make their way through the field. Darren and Justin having a great run here this weekend. Part and parcel, of course, the Glassfit team. They've got C-Track here in the house. In fact, a C-Track Bowmer up at Malmesbury would have seen all that action. And action already coming out of Cape Town. Out of Cape Town corner, across the grass. Clint Poseidon just getting a little bit sideways there, but he comes back on. The 38 Special ex-world karting champion, and he's just having the ride of his life. They come down to holes once again. KFM has seen lots of action here today, and more of it heads down in the way. Oh, sneaking through there's Yuri Swart. Chris Shorter being forced the long way around turn 1 here, and the turn 1 car handling it with absolute ease. The turn 1 car didn't quite get through turn 1 where he wanted to, but in turn 2 he's doing a great job. He's now on the inside of Yuri Swart and forces Yuri wide. Justin Oates, look at how hard this youngster's working. The concentration in his eyes. He's having a great outing here. Both him and his brother getting to grips with Polo Cup racing and slowly but surely becoming a threat. Come out of Rose Foundation sweep, heading up to Malmesbury. The leader's already through Malmesbury. A little bit of a gap opening up between the top 5 cars there. It's a little bit spread out compared to what we normally see. But as you can see in the background, there's no holding back from about 8th place backwards. Brad Bedingfield's in there. Jean Gerber having some fun and games with his teammate. And you can see also Clinton Besaidno starting to put some pressure on. You can see how hard Besaidno was pushing last time we came down here. He ran wide. Hopefully he'll get it right this time. Sean Reserve, incredible stuff at the moment, and looks like he's not going to be beaten here. Keegan Masters doing everything right, just trying to get through the field. Remember, he came out of round number 1 with a very, very nice set of points, and slowly but surely looks like he could be a threat, especially for the Signature Motorsport team at the front end. Oh, Pepper Racing's got problems. Reserve slowing. Bland's got the front. There you see, Matt Shorter up in the 2nd place. So certainly an issue there on the Pepper Racing and Alpine Motors car. I wonder if he's picked up a possible misfire there because it's not sounding good when he came past the control tower. The car's certainly not sounding like it should. He's managed to drive around it though. He stays in 4th place and is not going to let those 3 cars get away. So maybe it's just intermittent at this stage. Hopefully he can get to the end and finish up with some points. Jean Gerber will be happy to see that if he can see up the road, but clearly he can't right now because the Nashua car, Bedingfield, is in front of him and not letting him through. Matt Shorter driving incredibly well to keep out Keegan Masters, but of course there's no team orders in that Signature Motorsport team just yet, and those two will be going hammer and tongs. Whatever the issue was, Loreserve is driving around it. He's just going to try and drive that car to the line and get as many points in the bag as he can. There's still a couple of laps to go now, so he might just run out of laps, or he could run out of a possibility of finishing this race if that misfire comes back again. Looks like it's sorted though. Up the inside goes Masters. Overtakes and moves into 2nd place. had a little bit easy there. The two champion cars not willing to take each other out, and I'm sure that's what they were told not to do other than fight as hard as they can. Clinton Mercedes also having a great run there, and just ahead of Kuda Vazuri and of Daniel Duminy. Good run here from Masters. He's now trying to close the gap between himself and Trevor Bland. Remember, it's a battle we saw at Swartkops. Blandy was able to keep the youngsters out, but unfortunately here, it looks like they're going to be able to catch him and possibly even get past, because remember, they've got that whole big back straight to use, and slipstream definitely comes into effect. On the inside, oh, look at that. Oatsy looking for a way through. I think he might have squeezed out the big man Van Heerden in the motor machine, just not getting it all together. Oh, speaking of all together, don't run wide there. That will be very costly, especially after the tractor pulling that happened on the sideline. There's some big holes on the side. And Matt Shorter, you definitely don't put your car in there. Resume slowly but surely falling by the wayside. Look at that. He's completely out of it. He has fallen right back and possibly even into about 8th or 9th place. In fact, down into 10th place. That's Kuda Vazuri in 11th, closing in on him. Trevor Bland, though, has done it all right and looks like he's going to take the checkered flag. Considering the fact he didn't have second gear, that is an incredible drive here from this man. He comes through for the Universal Health team and takes another victory. That's 2 for him for this season. One of the winningest drivers so far for 2016. Well done, Trevor Bland, taking the win ahead of Max Shorter, who comes through for second place in the champion car. Beating his teammate Keegan Masters to the line. Chris Shorter, their stablemate, in 4th place, with Darren Oates, the best outing for him in the glass fit and C-Track car, in 5th. Laren caught up with Bradley Liebenberg after that big shunt on the line.
Brad, we've heard of finishing races in spectacular fashion, and you didn't even get off the line.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It was a technical problem, and the side shaft just snapped, and it was just unfortunate about that. But yeah, all okay. I survived, thankfully. So just get everything back right and get ready for the next race.
Sean, massive accident.
Yeah, not a good start to the second race of the season, but just unfortunately couldn't see Brad in front of me. Brad Benningfield turned out and Liebenberg was in front of me, and that was it. Just unfortunate.
Darren, your best finish to date, top 5.
I think it was a great race. I had the pace this weekend. Just unfortunately in the first race I put my car into the wrong gear, and so I'm lucky that it paid off this time. Happy with the result. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Glassfit, C-Track, Sameka, XCT, and then Doctor. Thank you.
Trevor, no second gear, a red flag, a restart, and a race win.
Yeah, thank goodness for the restart, otherwise I don't think I would have been here. But yeah, it went well. Unlucky for Sean. I think it was Sean's race. He had it all under control. I could catch him and then he could pull a gap, catch him, pull a gap. And unfortunately something went wrong with him. But I'll take it, I'm very happy again. Thanks to Ian Rayner for giving me a great car, and to the whole of Universal Healthcare. Fantastic result again.
Top quality racing out of Engen Volkswagen Cup as always. We head up the coast on the 4th of June to Port Elizabeth and the Aldo Scribanti circuit for the next round. We'll see you there with all the action. All this Volkswagen Cup action from 2016 is proudly brought to you by Engen and Volkswagen Motorsport, in association with Ferodo, Dunlop, and Champion.